Everyone, the judge came back with a verdict on the Michael Penkava case. This is a case that has been ongoing for years, and I'm here to talk about it. I do want to warn that this could be a trigger for some people. If it is, it's regarding child sex abuse, cover-up, and failure to report to local authorities. I would like to just mention that right up front. I'm not going to go into details, but I don't want you to go into this blindly if this is a trigger for you. Okay, that being said, I'm just going to jump right into it. The judge came back with a verdict, and they were found guilty. I have two reactions to this. I'm smiling, clearly, because it is such a win for any activist, anyone who is fighting for changes to be made within the policies of Jehovah's Witnesses. This is needed to force that to happen. It also shows a warning to all other elders out there that you are not necessarily protected. The governing body and the society, the organization, can't protect you. If the law and the right thing to do, I'm not even going to say just the law, the right thing to do is to report child sex abuse to the local authorities the moment you hear of it, then that is what you should be doing. You are grown-ass men. Pick up a phone and call the local authorities. My other reaction is sadness, because in a way, I understand what it is to be a Jehovah's Witness. I understand what it is to be indoctrinated, to follow all the rules of the organization and the governing body. And you put all of your trust, you put all of your faith into this organization, and they tell you that you're protected. They tell you that you are in the one true religion, and as an elder, I can only imagine that just quadruples, because you're dealing with situations like this, that it becomes legal matters. But it doesn't take away the fact that it's the right thing to do. Whether or not you called the legal department of the Jehovah's Witnesses and they gave you a direction, the right thing to do, it should have been on your conscience to pick up the phone and call the local authorities. Beyond that, you should have also been checking in with the victim. There is a lot more to the story that I will cover in another episode and on another day. It's late. Honestly, I've been poring over this for so long that I hadn't actually prepped on putting out a video tonight. I couldn't hold this back. So I thought, yes, screw it. I'm going on and I'm letting people know. So I'm going to give you all the dirty details in a quick bullet point format, and then I will put some links down below, and on another day we can go into some greater detail. I just want to say congratulations to everyone who has put in such hard work on this case. It has been grueling for years and years. Michael Penkava is 71 years of age. He was charged November 18th, 2020. He was an elementary school teacher for 35 years. He's an elder of the Jehovah's Witness organization, and it was July 2006 when he learned that a fellow congregant by the name of Hernandez was abusing a female relative underage, and they really honestly didn't take any action. There was a judicial committee, which means a group of elders, 3 men, elders, meet, and they decide on a course of action. Now, when it comes to abuse cases or legal matters, they don't call the local authorities. What they do is they actually call the headquarters of Jehovah's Witnesses, and the headquarters of Jehovah's Witnesses have a legal department, and they call the legal department and they ask for advice about what to do within this situation. Now, just because you're calling the legal department doesn't necessarily mean you're talking to a lawyer. And this was one of the biggest failures with Michael Penkava, was he called the legal department, but he doesn't even remember who he spoke to. And the person that he spoke to told him that they did not need to report it to the local authorities. 2 things here. First of all, you're dealing with a legal department in a state that is not your state. 2, okay, more than 1, 2, whatever. You should be going by the rules and laws within your state, not something that's governing, you're calling someone over in New York. So is that person in New York going by their rules, or are they going by your rules, your laws? And then 2, again, put law aside. It's wrong. It's child sex abuse. Call the local authorities. I don't care who told you what to do. You should have never questioned it in the first place. Okay, moving on. 2006, they learned of the abuse. They call the legal department. The legal department tells them not to call the local authorities. You're going to handle internally through a judicial committee. This is very common for Jehovah's Witnesses. This is one of the biggest issues. This is what so many people are fighting against. And this is actually something that happened to me in my life. This is very personal to me. So, sorry. They found out about it. Sorry. This is very personal to me because it is somewhat of it's a trigger for myself as well. But it's important that we get these stories out there, and this is how changes are made and progress is made. So, okay. Anyways, the society tells them to not report it. They don't report it. They handle it internally through a judicial committee. But they do say they warned, and let me just read it. I'm so sorry about this. Rather than call local authorities, Penkava, as he was trained to do as a church elder, sought the advice of attorneys. The abuse was handled through spiritual guidance, is what they call it. Oh, man. And then what they did was they told fellow members of the congregation to not leave their own children around Hernandez, the congregant, the abuser. So, and here's the thing. They don't say how they told people to not let their children alone with Hernandez. It's not like they made an announcement from the stage. Who all did you tell? And if you had visitors coming in, did you tell visitors? If you had visitors of that family, did you tell them? There's just no way you can control this. The only way to control it is to turn it over to the local authorities. So sorry. Okay. Anyways, they're trying to use an excuse there, saying that, oh, well, we warned people. All right. I'm just going to go past that now. I'm just going to move on. Hernandez, just so you know, was found guilty in October of 2019. He eventually did go to prison. So what happened was in 2006, the elders found out about it, and they didn't necessarily do anything. Hernandez was allowed to continue abusing his family member, underage girl, this poor girl. She was mentally abused, physically abused, sexually abused. So many times when we talk about child abuse, if it's sexual abuse that's happening, you are immediately also in a mental abuse situation because you are shamed into not saying anything. You are a lot of times threatened by your abuser, and that is exactly what happened in this case. She was threatened multiple times. So she couldn't speak up again until years later, and it was in 2018 when she was able to speak up again, and it was at that point that they finally contacted authorities. Now, I have another issue in this situation. You found out about it in 2006. You failed to report it, and the abuse was continuing, and she couldn't tell you. During this time, during those years, did you at any point, and I'm talking to the elders here, Penkava and the other brothers that were involved in this judicial committee, where was your contact with the victim? Because I know personally in my story, what happened with me, there was zero contact. None. So it doesn't talk about this in anywhere that I've scoured through documents, and I might have missed it, and if I have, definitely let me know. But at what point did you ever check in with the victim? Ask, how are you doing? Not how are you doing spiritually, because let's just clarify this. Other elders always like to say, well, we checked in to see how they were doing spiritually. I don't give two shits about their spiritualness when they're being physically abused. How about you get down to the real question, which is, how are you doing? The abuse has stopped. The abuse has not continued, right? Did you ask that question? Clearly you didn't. Otherwise, it would have been brought up in the case. They would have used that as an argument in their case to be found not guilty. But nowhere is that mentioned, which can only mean you never did check in with the victim. And that is not a good spiritual leader, nor is that a good person. So I'm going to end this now. It is a very happy, sad moment. Happy for many reasons. It shows, again, to all other elders out there, you are not above the law. You need to follow the law. You need to start reporting immediately. I don't care what the law is in your state. The right thing to do is to report child sex abuse the moment you hear about it. Physical abuse, the moment you hear about it. If a child is being starved to death and malnourished and not taken care of, call the local authorities. And do not rely on the society to have your back when it comes to not reporting, because it is now proven that it's not going to work and it is not going to help you. I am sad for the Penkava family and those close to him. This is a very difficult time for Jehovah's Witnesses right now. And again, like I said, I know what it is. I know what it feels like to be in that organization, and you think you are in the right position. You think you are doing everything by the book, by the rules. You're doing the right thing. Michael Penkava did not feel like he was doing anything wrong, and to this day he probably, well, I hope he does regret his actions, and I hope he's learning from this. But again, like I said, it's very difficult because this cult-like atmosphere, this indoctrination is so ingrained in you that you don't, the lines between right and wrong are very blurred. And so there is a lot of crying. There is a lot of heartbreak out there right now. And honestly, this gentleman will probably go to jail. So he has been found guilty, but the actual sentencing will not happen until March 25th. So I will come back and fill you guys in and update you. I will make sure to put some links down below. Check out Mark O'Donnell's Twitter. I'm sure this will be all over the internet. You can just Google. Let me know if you want any other details down below. I did pay the 99 cents to purchase the local Shaw local news report. They are covering this basically live. So I do have that. If you wanted to hear of anything specific and you're trying to read it, just let me know. I did purchase that so I can share any details and keep it updated. Thank you, everybody. Have a great night.